Soaring sandstone cliffs, lush green valleys, and trails that lead to jaw-dropping views that you're going to be dreaming about long after you've left. This is Zion National Park. Hey there, adventure seekers. It's Brooke from Brooke in Boots. We're back with another National Park Insider Tips and Tricks video, and this week we're exploring one of the destinations I've been to most out of any of the parks in the American Southwest, and that is Zion National Park. Don't forget to stick around to the end because I'm sharing an exclusive deal that's going to make planning your next trip to Zion so easy. Zion National Park is located in southwestern Utah and is one of the mighty five national parks located inside that state. The park attracts millions of visitors each year, and once you've seen it, it is not hard to understand why. Whether you're an experienced thrill seeker seeking an adventure like rock climbing, canyoneering, or defying death on the Angel's Landing Trail, or you're planning a little more chill family vacation, this park really does have it all. So without further ado, let's dive right into my favorite things to do in Zion National Park. If there's one thing you absolutely cannot miss when visiting Zion National Park, it's taking a hike in the Zion Narrows. Hiking the Zion Narrows is less of a traditional hike and more of an experience, and it's a trail unlike any you've probably ever done inside of a national park. To reach the Narrows, you'll take the Zion Canyon shuttle, which runs through most of the year, to the very end of Zion Canyon Scenic Drive, to the last stop, the Temple of Sinawava. Here, you'll get out and hike the paved Riverside Trail all the way to the end. Now, if you don't want to get wet, you don't have to go any further. You can just take in the views to the massive cliffs that surround the Virgin River as it exits the Narrows Canyon, turn around, and go back. But if you're ready for an adventure, and I really hope you are, then you will continue down the river, or rather up the river, for one of the most unique hikes in the national parks system. The river is the trail here, and it is spectacular. The walls of the canyon rise tens, even hundreds of feet above you as it increasingly narrows, which of course gives the hike its name. Along the way, you'll see waterfalls and lush hanging gardens. Now, you can turn around whenever you want. There isn't a grand finale at the finish. But if you want to go all the way, it's a 10-mile round trip, and it takes anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. Assume that you're going to hike a lot slower here than you would on an ordinary trail because, well, you're hiking through a river. So you're going to be stumbling over rocks, trying to find your footing, and in rare cases, even having to swim through some of the deeper sections of the canyon. Speaking of swimming, you're probably wondering, okay, so what does one wear to go hiking in a river? Now, you can either bring your own equipment. I would recommend bringing trail runners and some trekking poles, shoes that are going to dry quickly, or you can rent proper canyoneering equipment from a number of outfitters in the town Springdale, which is outside the main entrance to the park. There are tons of places that specialize in renting equipment just for people to day hike the Narrows, so you're going to have plenty of options. For example, Zion Outfitters is located just outside the park entrance, and they have a full array of rental equipment that you can bring, as well as plenty of information for hiking the Narrows inside the park. Angel's Landing is probably Zion's most famous, or maybe I should say infamous, hike. From the end of this trail, you get 360 spectacular views of the Zion Canyon below you from perched high on the sandstone cliff known as Angel's Landing. The trick is getting there. In order to reach the final section of Angel's Landing, you have to traverse a very narrow section of trail that has literally 1,000-foot drop-offs on either side. The section is so narrow and so dangerous that the National Park Service has established chains in order to hold on to on some sections along the way. Even then, it is an incredibly difficult trail and it is incredibly dangerous. So dangerous, in fact, that several people over the years have lost their lives on this trail due to bad weather and bad choices. In order to reduce the danger and the overcrowding on this deadly but still very popular trail, the National Park Service requires you to have a permit in order to traverse the final chain section starting from Scouts Lookout all the way to Angel's Landing. You can get this permit on recreation.gov, and I'll include more information about how you can get your own Angel's Landing permit in the section below. If you don't have a death wish and don't want to go all the way to Angel's Landing, or you simply just didn't get the permit, you can actually still ascend most of the trail to Scouts Lookout, which is a moderate hike, takes about 2 or 3 hours, family friendly, and is still an incredibly worthy hike in its own right. If you're visiting Zion in spring through late fall, you're not going to be able to drive your own private vehicle up Zion Canyon Scenic Drive. In order to reduce congestion and ease the parking situation, visitors are required to use the Zion Canyon shuttle in the most popular months of the year. And while that's an incredible idea, it does mean that wait times for the shuttle can be hours during the busy season like spring break and during summer. You can skip the shuttle entirely in Zion Canyon by renting a bike or e-bike in the nearby town of Springdale and explore the park on your own terms. This is hands down one of the best ways to experience Zion. I was completely a skeptic about it until I rented an e-bike last year with Greater Zion e-bikes and had an amazing afternoon exploring the park. I didn't have to use the shuttle, and I felt like even though I was visiting during the very busy spring break season, I still kind of had Zion all to myself. It was an incredible way to experience the park. It's very safe, and there are plenty of bike racks located throughout the park, including at every major trailhead. So all you need to do is zip your bike to your next destination, or just take it slow and take in the incredible views. When I rode my e-bike through Zion, I got to stop and see 3 California condors, which are incredibly endangered, soaring overhead, something I never would have been able to experience if I had been stuck on the shuttle. There are a number of outfitters in Springdale. I rented through Greater Zion e-bikes, but there are a couple of options, and again, I'll link some good ones in the description below if you're interested in riding an e-bike. If you've never ridden an e-bike before, I definitely haven't. It's super easy, very beginner friendly, and really, as long as you know how to ride a normal bike, you'll be fine on an e-bike. E-bikes are permitted everywhere that shuttle buses are able to go, as well as on the Paru Trail. So if you're looking to do only stops in Zion Canyon, you're not going to miss anything by renting an e-bike over taking the shuttle. The Zion Mount Carmel Scenic Highway is one of the most beautiful stretches of scenic road inside Zion National Park. This 12-mile scenic drive connects Zion Canyon at Zion Canyon Junction to the eastern side of the park. This is an amazing 12-mile scenic drive that is one of the most iconic scenic roads in any national park. On this road, you'll wind through red rock tunnels, up switchbacks, and stop at jaw-dropping overlooks with views of Zion all around you. The scenic road travels from Zion Canyon up and out to the eastern section of the park, which is a little more remote and has some different geography than Zion Canyon itself. You'll pass places like Checkerboard Mesa, and make sure to keep an eye out for bighorn sheep who love to hang out on the road in this area. The Zion Mount Carmel Highway is accessible to all normal vehicles, but if you're driving an oversized rig like a Sprinter van, or towing an RV or driving an RV, you may need to obtain special permission in order to get through the Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel. Check the MPS website for your vehicle's height restrictions and to find out more. And while you're traveling on the Zion Mount Carmel Scenic Highway, don't forget to check out number 6 and my last favorite thing to do inside Zion National Park, and that is the Zion Canyon Overlook Trail. Unlike Angel's Landing that we talked about earlier, you don't have to defy death in order to get amazing views from this trailhead. It's an easy trail, it's great for all ages, and it has incredible views. If you're short on time on Zion, this trail is absolutely the best bang for your buck. Now, unlike the other spots on this list, you can't access this trailhead using the Zion Canyon shuttle system. You'll have to use your own private vehicle and drive up the Zion Mount Carmel Highway in order to get there. As you can tell, there are a ton of amazing things to do in Zion. We have only scratched the surface, so I provided a couple of resources on my blog that I'll link in the description below. But if you want to make it even easier and have the seamless, perfect Zion vacation totally planned out for you, then I have something you're going to be interested in. This is the Brook & Boots Zion National Parks Itinerary Guide, as well as the Brook & Boots Zion and Bryce Canyon Itinerary Guides. These are downloadable ebooks, they're super affordable, and they include all of the information you need to plan your own trips to Zion or Zion and Bryce Canyon National Parks in Utah. These ebooks contain over 20 pages of important planning information like info on reservations, tips and tricks for getting around the park, hotel information, and recommendations on my favorite restaurants. Click the link in the description below and enter the code ADVENTURE at checkout to receive 20% off any of my national park itinerary guides. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post weekly videos sharing my own personal adventures in the national parks, as well as making helpful videos like this one so you can plan your own epic adventures. If you've got questions about visiting Zion National Park, drop it in the comments below, and I will see you out on the trails. Bye.